but it's difficult. I'm not saying that it's instant. I think that Exort should be playing one of his best games because no matter, let's just say that he has defensive capabilities when it comes to defending turrets, but if Work Auster Force plays this correctly, they won't even need to can reach the late game with more scaling heroes. And you have the wave clear, you have the ingredients. It's easy to say that, okay, this will reach a late game. But what if Work Auster Force plays this more fluidly, I'd say. And if you're looking at just the difficulty of pulling off the draft, honestly, Work Auster Force, they have an easier draft to pull off. That's why there's a little bit of doubt from NXP, from my point, because it's easy for me to say that their lineup is good, but if they don't execute properly, they can easily be taken down by a less difficulty type of lineup from Work.
Okay. Benedetta is the jungler for NXP, held there by H2WO. Meanwhile, RENEJAY being babysat right now by Yawi. RENEJAY handling the Claude in the side lanes. Now, both teams right now just really farming up, buying time. When we get to the first objective, and more often than not, there will be a fight when it's NXP for an objective. Do any of these lineups have a clear advantage in an objective fight?
Well, obviously, Work Auster Force will have the advantage when it comes to objectives, most especially during the first 3 turtles of the game, if even 4, if they able to just take that down fast. Just look at this, 1 minute and 30 seconds in, Chu is already working his way with the help of 3 Martini to get that crab, and is just funneling every single thing to Chu.
High damage already, and they're going to be focusing that energy shield turret on Ravel. Way behind though, H2WO and X are coming in from the back. James and the rest of NXP just clearing up the minion wave so that they're not so pressured for this take. And yeah, as expected, both teams now positioning themselves around the turtle. A few more seconds until it spawns. NXP trying to manage the minion wave in the mid. It's going to be a game of chicken for this turtle right now.
It's going to be difficult for NXP, but we did say that Work Auster Force will have an easier time around the first objective, which is the turtle.
Unravel takes a bit of damage. Yaoi's gonna catch out RTZ. RTZ could be going down, but able to get away with the Umbrella Flea. Meanwhile, H2WO was there in the back lane of the Benedetta, dealing damage to the back. RTZ already has fallen. Unravel has fallen as well, and that's gonna be a kill there for the Uranus. 3 members of Work have fallen. H2WO is down on the side of NXP, so you lose the jungler on the side of NXP, but they're fine with that. They get kills, and they get the turtle as well.
A very smart take from NXP. I'm going to explain this because it's related to the laning configuration that they decided to go with. So instead of going for the Claude jungler, the silent Benedetta that we know from NXP, as H2WO plays the Claude and RENEJAY plays the Benedetta before, what they did is to have a pure jungler in H2WO, which means that Exort, the mid laner, will get all of the mid lane minions, which also means that by the 2-minute timing, around the first turtle, he'll get to level 4, while RENEJAY will just get free average procs because his matchup is just a Uranus. The range is massive, and this is such a good decision from NXP, and this might be the best case scenario for them. Obviously, the turtle fight will not favor them, but what they did was to just damage the members of Work instead of focusing their power onto the turtle.
Yeah,
that's why they were able to get the kills.
Yeah, and eventually that forced Work back. Work, of course, had their eyes set on, oh, we gotta get this turtle, and they couldn't stop NXP from just running over them in that fight. Now in the bottom lane, 3 Martini has to go back and manage that. A lot of movement here in the jungle. Yeah, he's going to catch out RTZ. Let's see if he'll be able to force out something. He forces out his own ultimate just to get away, but we're not going to have a big fight for just a bit unless NXP has other plans. They're positioning really aggressively. They catch out Unravel. Unravel takes a lot of damage from the Spiral Strand into Chromatic Lance. H2WO coming in with the Phantom Slashes and dashes out. They're just trying to poke out the members of Work a little bit. Make Rafaela use that heal, use up some mana before that turtle spawns. Both teams reset.
Yeah. And I need a little bit of a panic button here now. Work Auster Force, as the Demon Hunter sword is already available for RENEJAY 4 minutes in.
Oh man.
And that's scary. You have very tanky heroes on Work Auster Force, and the guys of the Uranus, the ever so tanky one, as well as the Paquito with all sustain, but with Demon Hunter sword available now, it just means that for NXP, RENEJAY will have a lot of farming speed in his hands now.
And by the time he gets to the turtle, if he's going to join in the fight, basically what will be available for him now. Kose trying to disrupt the members of NXP. RENEJAY still on the way, but there's already a fight breaking out. James has been forced back. Kosei, flame shot, almost hitting onto James. RENEJAY, as expected, comes in with a blazing duet. Bursts down 2, takes out 3 Martisi. Kosei is down as well on the side of Work, and NXP wins another fight. H2WO gets a flame shot to the behind, but now Work is behind with only RTZ surviving that fight, and another turtle most likely going to go to the side of NXP.
Oh my goodness. Throwback to a few months back, as one coach said that NXP is monkey see, monkey do. Well, one thing that a monkey does is peel bananas, and NXP just peeled through Work so easily. The timing, we can see that in the replay. Look at how scattered the members of Work Auster Force will be after they overly chase James. James, by the way, with a nice sidestep to dodge that flame shot, and RENEJAY comes in the perfect timing, pops the Aegis, pops the blazing duet. No problem in the world, as he has the Demon Hunter sword, and they are dropping Work Auster Force with all of their firepower right now.
And that instant replay was brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A94. Checkers now for only 13,999. 18.5k now is the gold for NXP. 15.5 for Work. Could be more for NXP as Exort comes in with the ultimate meteor shower, forces back the members of Work and clears up the lane. They don't want to give up any of the side lanes or any of the turrets just yet.
Golden staff, and look at that sidestep from RENEJAY. Even with just a few hits and few procs of both the Demon Hunter sword as well as the Golden Staff, you see the Paquito, 3 Martisi just receive so much damage in a small amount of time.
That's because of what you pointed out earlier. Blazing duet, by the way. Here comes RENEJAY, but a bit of a miscalculation from him. But he says, you know what? No, that was all for H2WO, who comes in and picks up the double kill. He was just there to clear them up, deplete them, and then H2WO was coming in. Came in to go for the cleanup.
I'm pretty sure that is not what they intended it to happen, but kind of looks cool as RENEJAY kind of gives a little wingman, an absolute wingman in there for H2WO.
Yeah, into the first turret, or the second turret rather, goes onto the hands of NXP, broken down the mid. Little by little, this is escaping the hands of Work, as RENEJAY has farmed up without a problem, gained the stacks of average, got a lot of farm in lane in the gold. Kosei, you're just seeing him, he's just going to be sustaining. That's the most he can do here. But against his Esmeralda, this could be a double-edged sword for Work.
Oh. Now, when it comes to map control, NXP absolutely has the advantage. We talked about panic button around the 4-minute timing, and Work Auster Force, they might not have reacted quicker to NXP's better timings. And I have to attribute this to the decision of NXP to put RENEJAY on a cycling Claude against the Uranus. It just cleared up all the issues that NXP had to deal with. And Exort, all he needs to do right now is just to clear waves. And if you're looking at turrets, no turrets down yet for NXP. I think they have secured 3 turtles in total, and that's every single thing that they needed to have. This game might be theirs because of those simple maneuvers.
Exactly, and Kosei might be theirs as well, but he's forced to go back. Meteor shower pop. H2WO. Oh, really close there. Good thing Kosei didn't decide to just continue walking down the lane, or he could have been caught out there by the Benedetta. Now, NXP, we mentioned at the start of the game, was that their macro movements around the map was what caused them against Omega, but now they seem to have learned from that, so they've improved and they look like a much sharper NXP this time around. Better rotations, better handling of the map and the waves. The strategies as well that you pointed out with RENEJAY going into the Claude. This is so far the best we've seen NXP since their win against Bren.
I completely agree with you. It's just like them doing everything that they needed to do. They look like they went back to the drawing board after that loss against Omega. They fixed every single thing that they need to do, and they are prepared from Work Auster Force. Now, Work Auster Force, unfortunately, sometimes you say that these early game lineups are gambits, I would say. And sometimes if it doesn't work, it looks really bad. But if it works, it looks really good. And unfortunately for Work Auster Force, their early game lineup composed of the Bruno Rafaela, it didn't work. What you needed to secure with the Bruno Rafa was the first three turtles of the game. But unfortunately, they weren't able to get any single thing and now Chu is gonna struggle. 0, 3, and 3. And I would just imagine the Claude, RENEJAY will just jump into the backlines and pop the blades into it and destroy them all.
Yeah, and ultimates were popped already, but Workhorse of course are fighting back. RENEJAY with a blazing duet, and he gets to take out 3 Martisi. Unravel is down as well. All 5 members of NXP are still alive on the map. Meanwhile, Auster forced Kosei far away, forced to just try and manage the side lanes in the bottom. H2WO subtracted from the health of the tower, going back for help with the Lord here. Great play there by NXP.
Yeah.
Choking work in the purple buff.
It's a great play because what they did was to just put work on the Auster Force heroes low so that they cannot contest the Lord. They even killed 2, and the best thing about it, they forced the retribution on the Chu.
Yeah, and Kosei's gonna be forced to use the consequences to try and get away from this. He's gonna try and sustain all he can, but against 5, that is close to impossible as the Lord marches to the top side. NXP are looking to pressure back work. Beautiful catch there with the Imperial Justice. NXP do not have the abilities yet just to follow up because they burned it on trying to get Kosei. So in what could have been the end there for work, Kosei sacrificed himself, of course, unintentionally. NXP just didn't have the abilities there.
Yeah, they will not force it. You know what? If it was NXP from before, they would have jumped. But no, they didn't jump because of the fact that they know that they have the advantage. By the way, Wind of Nature now picked up by the Claude. It's almost impossible for him to be taken out. And I'm pretty sure that he will jump. The first sign of trouble for Auster Force might be destroyed by the blazing duet of the angry RENEJAY CLAUDE.
Yeah, and this what hurts about having a Rafaela on your squad played by your tank. You don't have the hard tank to hold it down. Unlike NXP, they have Yaoi Sylvana. Auster Force, as someone jumps them from the back, they gotta hope that they are in a better position and it was a mistimed entry by RENEJAY, because that's the best thing that they can hope for right now. They don't have a lot of heroes who can help them out. You'll have a little bit of sustain if the stuns land from Unravel and 3 Martisi, sure, but now the damage is pouring out of NXP and on to work. Claude has been taken out though a little bit too early there for RENEJAY. That was the mistimed entry that I was just talking about. Bit of a miscommunication, or was that just a good catch by work?
Well, combination of both for sure. I think the work are really expecting that to happen. You can see how work Auster Force are positioned.
Oh, and Yaoi got coming in. Work Auster Force, 2 of them are down. Actually, Chu was the only one who fell there. No losses there for NXP thanks to their lead. The items that they have helping them keep themselves alive. H2WO was gonna get caught up though by RTZ. The entry with the stun and the burst damage is there. NXP now a bit of a miscalculation costing them and giving a little bit more momentum towards the side of work. The game isn't over yet. You do not want to do this.
No, you don't. My goodness, NXP really stumbled in there. Because that Claude jump coming up from RENEJAY, I would say it was already pre-planned from work Auster Force. They looked like they were prepared for it. But that outside of the base clash, it should be always favoring NXP because work Auster available onto Claude. They still have to respect the fact that work Auster Force can burst them. And there's Kagura. RTZ is playing so well this time. As you should be afraid of the burst coming out from the Kagura for NXP. Even when you're so farmed and you're so ahead, respect is always the key.
Yeah, and Kosei trying to disrupt the take of that purple buff, but James is already forced to use the Falling Star Moon to get that and secure that on the side of NXP. RTZ, last Kagura game, he had 9 kills and 2 assists. Let's see if he can replicate another all-star-like performance for this match to try and bring work back into it. Now, we've put a lot of focus on NXP because they've had most of the lead in this game, but now work is slowly crawling back and finding their momentum. Do they have the right tools to deal with late game scaling lineup that NXP brought out?
So far, they have the Wind of Nature, so that's actually so amazing. The decision from Chu. His second item, or third item after the Raptor Machete as well as the Endless Battle, was the Wind of Nature because he knows that RENEJAY will be tempted to jump into the backlines and just pop the blaze into it. At least they will have some sort of defensive. Instead of going for Queen's Wings or Queen's Wings first, or Athena's or Kiras, he went for the Wind of Nature. I love that decision. Kosei, he went in for the Dominance Ice. This is much needed against the lineup of NXP. So if you're asking me whether or not they have some tools in the late game, yes they do.
Great item pickup there. Speaking of items, Chu after building a little bit more of a sustainer out, now has even more burst, more of that burst you were mentioning. As he already picked up Berserker Fury, Unravel, and the rest of work. A little bit too late to contest that lord, but here comes James with a Falling Star Moon and the Blazing Duet. The Wombo combo is there. 3 Martizi, Chew, and Unravel are unraveling before our eyes as Work Auster Force gets surprised, get bursted, and almost wiped off of the map. Only Kose is remaining. He's gonna try and sustain, gonna try and buy time, gonna try to stop NXP from taking this game 1 win. He takes out Exort. The sustain is keeping him alive, but eventually he gets taken out. A miscalculation by Work. A little bit too late to contest that Lord, and NXP will take this game 1 win.
Perfectly summed up, Reptar. That was a miscalculation, a massive mistake. The side